Good morning, Flutarians. Welcome back to another Atomic Flutist warm-up session. Now, I'm calling these the Atomic Flutist based off of James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. If you haven't already listened to it or read it, I highly recommend picking it up from your local library or bookstore. Or now that I mention it, I can add it to my book list on my Amazon store. So on there, you've also got Victor Wooten's The Music Lesson book. That one is great as an audio book. It's read by the author himself and is punctuated by his music. And just last Thursday, I did an interview with Ruth Childs. She has a book up called The Focal Dystonia Cure and another one called Free to Perform. I can't remember the full subtitle, but something about releasing performance blocks and getting into the flow. So highly relevant to improvising, I think, especially if you're feeling a little bit blocked from your classical music upbringing. Well, let's go ahead and get started warming up our low register. The key of the day today is F major, so I just put on a drone on the note F. So I'm going to start on the low F and then descend 2 notes in the chromatic scale at a time down to low C, like F, E, take a breath, E, E flat, take a breath, E flat, D, take a breath. And I do the low register first because I think the low register is the foundation for a beautiful upper and middle register. You could say that the upper registers are just, what do we call them? Harmonics of the lower register. Sometimes that's why the fingerings get so weird when we go higher, so that it modifies it to be more in tune or easier to produce the sound. And I'm going to add a crescendo in the first note and a decrescendo in the second note. So I'm going to try and do extreme dynamics to start and end as quietly as humanly possible, and in the middle to play as loudly as humanly possible. If you squeak up to the upper register, that's okay, because part of what we're doing here is learning and establishing exactly where is the change in the embouchure for the next higher note, or for the next lower note. And I'm also going to do this without vibrato, since vibrato is like little pitch bends, and since I want to have good intonation, and I know that the flute tends to play sharp when we play loud and tends to play flat when we play quiet, I want to leave the vibrato out so I can really focus on the intonation. So here comes F, F to E. Just going to adjust my chair a little bit. Okay. Join me. You can consider this like a long note challenge, long tone challenge. See if you can make your transition to the next note happen when you've spent up 50% of your air. Here comes E to E flat. Now let's go back to this F. And let's warm up to the lowest note in another way that uses the chromatic scale. So let's do chromatic segments that include 3 chromatic notes. So and then start on the next lower note. Now when I do this going down, I'm going to add a slight crescendo as I go lower on the flute to compensate for the fact that the flute tends to sound quieter on the lower notes, or it's more challenging to get more volume on the low notes. So let's do groups of 3, and let's do them 4 times. And if at any point this gets too challenging on the low notes and your notes are cracking up higher, you can always go back to the previous set of notes that was easy and do that one again, and then see if you can relax into the next set. So here comes the groups of 3 starting on E natural. The same type of thing, but starting on the bottom and going up. So we'll start on the low C, and then I want to make our way all the way up to this F. let's do 2 more. Now let's practice vibrato with intention on that F. I like to practice it in these 4 ways. First, super slow and tall as possible. Second, super fast and maybe short as possible. And then slow to fast and fast to slow. So let's do super slow. And if it cracks into the next octave, that's okay. Like I said earlier, part of what we're doing here is discovering and learning exactly where is the embouchure change for the higher note. Ooh, I'm going to do that one more time. Super slow. Now super fast. Now let's do slow to fast. Now fast to slow. Now let's work that F major scale a little bit. First up, and then we'll go down. So let's do this in groups of 3. Ta, 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 ta. So we'll do that all the way up, and then we'll turn around and come back down, all the way down to the low F. Now let's practice some interval leaps. The goal here is to get up to the point where at the end of this, we'll be doing low F to high F, low F, high F, low F, high F. So we'll start by playing the lowest F, and then let's slur up to the next note in the scale, the note G. Let's do that 4 times, no tongue, and then we'll take a breath and do the same thing, but make the interval bigger. F to A, and then F to B flat, and so on and so forth. listening for clean fingers that are moving at the same time, and for, I guess, a clean transition in the embouchure from the low note to the high note. Here comes F to B flat. F to D. F to E. So two of the challenges with that exercise are, one, to see if you can get approximately the same volume between the low note and the high note, and two, to play both notes in tune. Now that we've gone all the way from low F to high F, let's try another way to go from the low F to the high F through the arpeggio. So let's start on the low F and add one note in the arpeggio, then go back down, then add two notes, then go back down. So which are the notes in the F major arpeggio? F, A, and C. Then we repeat again at the F. try that same process, but this time adding double tonguing. Let's go da-ga da-ga da, da-ga da-ga da, da-ga da-ga da, and then build it up from there. Let's try making those whistle tones on purpose. So whistle tones, they're very quiet. I'll play one for a demonstration. So whistle tones are considered an extended technique or an accident, depending on how you look at it. Extended technique if you do it on purpose, accident if it accidentally comes out at the end or maybe beginning of your note. Whistle tones only require about 10% of the volume of air or amount of air that we would normally use to make the flute resonate and vibrate. And they tend to happen to me when I'm trying to finish a note and I don't slow my airstream down fast enough. So I'm doing a diminuendo, less and less air, and then at some point the flute stops vibrating and turns into a whistle tone. I also get these sometimes at the beginning of notes if I start my note with a hoo instead of a two. The two helps speed the air up, but if my airstream doesn't speed up fast enough, sometimes there's just a little bit of a hint of a whistle tone before the flute starts to vibrate. So let's practice them with intention so that we can avoid them when we don't want them. Plus, this is a good exercise for developing finesse in the embouchure. Once you're getting some whistle tone out, adjust the position of your airstream and see if you can hear different notes, because these follow the harmonic series, and you might hear an octave, then a fifth, then another octave, then a third, then a fifth, then a seven, something like that. So I'm going to put my fingers on low C. Some professional flutists also use this to warm up where they don't want to be heard, but they still want to warm up the muscles of their embouchure. So I'm going to put my fingers on the low C, and we'll do this for 2 or 3 breaths. let's also practice a minute of flutter tonguing. Now, flutter tonguing is considered an extended technique. I love to mix it in when I'm improvising, when I want something that's not that beautiful, clear, classical tone, but something that's instead a little bit more edgy. So if you can get the flute note out at all with the tongue fluttering, good for you. If you can't yet, keep trying, and perhaps your embouchure will become stronger or more precise as we practice this throughout the weeks. So I'm going to do this on a middle F. Let's do this for 2 or 3 breaths. You can try starting and stopping it midstream like that if you want. And now let's add using the voice and the flute at the same time. So this is another kind of a preventative strategy or an extended technique, depending on how you use it. As an extended technique, it's also like the flutter tonguing. It can create kind of a growly, almost a little grungy sound, which is a nice contrast when you don't want just happy Mary had a little lamb, beautiful classical tone. Perhaps it's a what did we have? An adventurous spider in improv games, animal adjectives yesterday. There was another one that used, a dragon. A fire-breathing dragon might use a little bit of voice and flute sounds, or flutter tonguing and voice and flute sounds. So there's 2 ways to approach using the voice. I prefer to start the flute sound first and then start my voice, though I start the voice right after, so you can't really, it sounds like you can't really hear that it starts after, it sounds like it's at the same time. Or if you're a beginner, it may be easier to start the voice first and then slowly bring the flute to you like this. Ooh, ooh. So first you're thinking about starting the voice, and then you're thinking, how do I shape the embouchure for that note? If you can get the note out at all with all this vibration happening, that's a good sign that your muscle memory for your embouchure knows where it needs to be for that note. We're doing an F right now. Let's do a couple of sing and play on F. Did you hear my voice moving? Sometimes it's easier to play a note that is not in unison, but is instead a pleasant interval away, like a third or a fourth or a fifth. Let's try that one more time. And I'll add a little flutter tongue at the end as well. All right. Hopefully you're feeling more warmed up than you were 30 minutes ago. I will be going live for improv games tonight at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Please join us if you can. I think I'll do a highlight tonight on improvising with the song Hallelujah, popularized by Leonard Cohen, but in my memory, I think of it as from the Shrek soundtrack, sang by Rufus Wainwright. I love his voice. So please join us if you can. Also, I give away a free private lesson, actually 2 of them every month in the Flutarian School. One is for the top 30-day leaderboard winner, and the other is chosen by the community according to whoever gets the most likes on their post or picture or comment in the introductions thread. So there's a new intro thread every month. This month, April, it is Flutes in the Wild. So please take a picture of you with your flute, or maybe even just your flute, out in a wild, natural, green space. That way we can get to know you a little bit, and you get a chance to win an extra private lesson. So hope to see and hear you there soon. P.S. If you like this shirt, this one is called Flutie Beam Me Up, and you can get it in the Flutarian's Redbubble shop.